my name is Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading, and it is officially January, which means it is officially the start of the Who Done It Readathon. This is a readathon hosted by Pages with Paige and a couple of other hosts. I'm going to put them all down below, so go check out their channels. It is a Clue-based readathon. I love the game Clue, so that's so exciting. I am going to be participating in this readathon. You needed to read a minimum of 3 books, and you could read more than that if you needed to, but I'm tripling up on prompts and using each book for one person, one item, in one room, just so that I only have to read 3 books, because I do have a pretty chunky TBR this month, and that's all I could really commit to. I'm not going to be telling you which prompts and cards I am getting so that I can make my final guess of who committed the murder and with what room, because this vlog is going out before the end of the readathon and I don't want to spoil anything. But I thought, since this was a Clue-based readathon, and Clue to me just puts in mind like cozy mysteries, because it's these 6 basically normal people at a dinner party and someone dies. And all the other attendees basically have to figure out what's going on. That is a cozy in and of itself. And lately, every time I'm in sprints, people are reading cozy mysteries and I want to read them. They sound so good and I feel like I am missing out. So I've decided to do just cozy mysteries for the Cluedo prompts to fill all the Whodunit Readathon prompts. I will be reading 3 cozy mysteries, and I'm going to let you know right now which ones I'm doing and also which one I'm starting with. I'll be reading Dial A for Aunties. I'm going to be reading the first book in the Tea Shop Mystery series, which is Death by Darjeeling by Laura Childs. This is a bind-up of the first 3 books in this cozy mystery series, but I'm only reading the first one for this readathon. And the first book I'm starting with is one that I've had my eye on for so long, and I'm so excited I finally get to read it. And that's The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I am so excited to start this series. I've had my eye on it since it came out, and I think there are now 3 books out in this series, or there's 2 out and the 3rd one is about to come out, one or the other. And I cannot wait to finally dive in. This follows a group of 4 unlikely friends who meet weekly in the jigsaw room of their retirement home to discuss unsolved crimes, and together they call themselves the Thursday Murder Club. I need this in my life. So I'm going to jump in, read this for my first cozy mystery for this vlog, and I will let you know what I think, and then I'll decide which of the other 2 I'm going to read next. I don't know why it has taken me so long to start the Thursday Murder Club. It has been on my TBR since it came out like a year, 2 years ago. There's now 3 books out in this series. Why did it take me so long to finally pick this up? I don't know, but I'm so glad that I did. This is just fantastic. I'm gonna give this 5 stars. I absolutely loved this cozy. It was quirky. It was funny at times. I was interested in the mystery and I was like, what happened to all these people? It's set at a retirement facility, but there is also, like, next door to the retirement facility, a nursing home part, which we do kind of float back and forth between the 2. So that's why I did want to mention that. It follows 4 of the retirement home residents as they start this thing called the Thursday Murder Club. One of their past residents, who has now moved over to the nursing home side and is basically not in the club any longer, used to be a detective and somehow has kept all of her cases and case logs and case notes from when she was a detective. Don't know how, but she has. And the 4 members that are now still in the club are using these case notes to basically solve past cases. This comes to an abrupt halt when there's a murder connected to the nursing home and the retirement facility. And these 4 people decide that they can solve this. They know what they're doing. They can do this. Elizabeth, who is kind of the instigator of this club, we never find out what she used to do for a living, but it clearly is something to do with like police work or spy work or something like that. We never really find out, but it's very kind of not talked about, but talked about in the book. And she's just fantastic. Like I said, all 4 of the elderly people in the Thursday Murder Club, they're each characters in their own right and just so fun and so interesting and so eccentric. And I just loved them all. I loved the mystery. Like I said, there were times where I was like, what is happening? I can't figure this out. Like, it's actually an in-depth mystery on top of being just funny. There was times where I laughed out loud. Like, I just really enjoyed myself with this, and I cannot wait to read the 2nd book and the 3rd book. That will be happening very soon because I need to have more of this in my life. It gave me very much Finley Donovan vibes, not in the way that these people are a hot mess like Finley, because Finley is a hot mess in her own right, and actually these 4 people in this club are actually very intelligent and very on top of things people, but just like the style really made me think of Finley and how much I loved reading Finley the first time I read it. I guess it was more the experience reminded me of Finley, of how I felt reading Finley Donovan for the first time. This is how I felt reading this for the first time, and that is high praise because if you've been around here, you know I love that series. So, high praise. 5 stars, and I will definitely be continuing with this series. I'm hoping like in the next couple of months because I would love to get caught up before a 4th book comes out because I'm assuming there's a 4th book. I actually don't know that. I need to look into that. But usually cozy series go on for a while. It would be nice to get caught up in this series. The next book that I'm going to be reading for this cozy mystery whodunit vlog is the first book in this bind up by Laura Childs, T43. And the first book is Death by Darjeeling. This is the Tea Shop Mysteries series. I think there's like 20 books out in this series. It's a long one. This is a bind up of the first 3 books in the series, but I do only plan to read the first one. This follows Charleston tea shop owner Theodosia Browning, and she always seems to find herself steeped in mystery and murder. In the first book, Theo is serving tea for 200 or so at the annual Historic Homes garden party when one guest is found dead clutching a teacup. That's the synopsis for these books are very small because there's 3 and they have to synopsize all 3. I accidentally read book 16 in this series probably 2 years ago now. It's been a while. And I really liked it. I had a great time with book 16. I then decided that I should probably read them in order. Here we are, finally starting the series with book 1 and hopefully I would love to get through this entire bind up, not this month, that's not gonna happen, but over the next couple months and read all 3. I keep saying that my TBR for the next couple months just keeps getting bigger because I keep starting series and going, well, I want to continue those in the next couple months. Don't hold me to any of that because at this point, if I did everything that I said I was going to do, I'm going to have to read 500 books in February and March. So we're just going to overlook the fact that that's not going to happen. Some of them will happen. Right now, what's going to happen is the first book. That's all I can really realistically commit to. Does anyone else have this problem? Where you like start a series and you're like, I'm gonna continue that right away and then don't? Please tell me I'm not the only one. So I finished the first book in this Tea for 3 bind up of the first 3 books of the Tea Shop Mysteries. And this was just such a cute, cozy mystery. It was so cute. This is more what I think of as like typical or classic cozy mysteries. The other 2 books that I picked are kind of seeming to be the new type of cozies that they're trying to make look like popular mystery novels, but with a cozy vibe, where this is like classic cozy mystery, and I loved it. I just loved it. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. This follows Theodosia Browning. She is the owner of this tea shop, and they are catering a tea event, and someone is murdered. Theodosia starts to investigate this murder alongside the police, because she thinks the police are focusing on the wrong person, which is someone who actually works for Theodosia at the tea shop. So she wants to prove that her employee is innocent and starts investigating this murder. And I just love that about cozies, that it's just like anybody can investigate a murder. Like, it's just kind of fun that way. And it takes me back to the days of when I like used to read Nancy Drew as a kid. Like, that's where it takes me back to. And I just really enjoyed my time with it. It's cute. It's cozy, which is exactly what you want. And it was actually a really quick read. It was only like 200 pages. I do think I'm going to continue with this bind up later in the month. We'll see, at least probably in February, because I do want to kind of stick with these people. The characters in this tea shop are just so fun and so interesting, and I want to see more of them for sure. But the last book I'm reading for this cozy mystery whodunit vlog is Dial A for Aunties. I am so excited to read this. I've heard so many amazing things about this book. So I think our main character is Madeline. I will check that pronunciation when I listen to the audiobooks. I could be pronouncing that wrong. But Madeline Chan accidentally ends up killing her blind date and calls her mother in a panic, I would assume. And her mother calls her 4 aunts to come and help clean up this mess of a dead body. And there is more here if I kept reading the synopsis, but I kind of want to leave it at that and just witness the hot mess that is that situation the way the author has intended. I'm so excited to read this. Like I said, I've heard so many amazing things about this book that I just cannot wait to dive right in to it and see what all the fuss is about, because there is some fuss around this book and I need to know why everyone loves it so much and get on the loving this book train. I really hope I love it as much as everybody else loves it. That's always the fear with reading a book that people love, is that you're not going to love it as much, but I have high hopes. I love a cozy, and so far all the cozies in this blog have been going well, so why will this one not? Let's go find out. Well, this vlog is going to have a little bit of an anticlimactic ending, but I'm going to DNF Dial A for Aunties. I am so sad. I really wanted to love Dial A for Aunties. I know I am in the minority on this. So many people love this series and love this book, but it just wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. This has 2 timelines for the first about 70 pages of this book. Present timeline, where it's the part of the cozy mystery, and a past timeline. And I didn't care about the past timeline, so I found it had a really slow start because I just wanted to dive into the mystery and the hot mess of the situation. Then we hit our stride for a minute. There was a really funny chapter with an online dating profile in chats that I was like laughing so hard, and I was like, okay, finally, we're in this, we're going. And then it just slowed right down. I think because this really only follows the course of like 2 days, I just found it really slow. The 4 aunties were really fun characters, but I didn't really love the main character that much. And also, after that one chapter that I really liked, they proceed to move a cooler around this wedding venue, around their places of businesses for the next like 80 pages. And that's pretty much all it is them moving it around. And I couldn't read any more of them moving it around. I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. I really wanted to like this, and I'm so sad that I don't. I'd rather just DNF it versus sticking it out and then giving it like a 2-star. Maybe I'll come back to this at some point, but I just think the pacing of this for me was just not for me. Again, I know I'm in the minority on that, and I know a lot of people love this book, so maybe it's just not for me. I don't know. I found it really slow, and I just couldn't sink into it. I made it to 154 pages when I just decided that I was done. That being said, I don't know if I can use it as my last submission for the Whodunit Readathon, because it is a DNF. If I can't, I'm gonna go look at Paige's rules where I made it 50% into the book. It may still be okay. If it's not, I will just use some of the other books that I've read this month to cover the prompts that I planned for this book to cover, and just kind of piecemeal my submissions for the Whodunit Readathon from that. But this is the end of this cozy mystery vlog. It was good, but we did have a DNF, so good and bad. 5-star read, 4-star read, and a DNF, so it was kind of all over the place. But I enjoyed my time with cozies for the most part, and definitely want to read more cozies in the future. I definitely want to continue with the Thursday Murder Club, and I think I'm going to try and maybe even squeeze the second book in this month if I have time. If not, probably in February. We'll see what happens. But thank you so much for watching. If you have any cozy mystery recommendations for me, please put them down below. I would love to hear what you like, because I don't actually know that much about the genre, but want to go into it further. Thank you again so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.